Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Morning, good afternoon, or in between. This is our July lunch and learn. And I think we have, as always, a lot of things planned. We're always falling short of our 1 hour that is given, or that we set aside for this event. So we'll get started. Okay. So people are wondering, are we at lunch and learn or we're doing something else? We're going to a zoo or something. Not really. I want all of you to picture this as a team. Someone is very fast, someone is observing keenly, someone just thinking. Uh, can whoever is unmuted, can you go on mute, please, if you're talking or having something, some other parallel conversation? Thank you. And so on. Somebody is appreciating, clapping, and watching, etc. So different traits, different communication strategies, different social behaviors. Someone protecting from predators and somebody else becoming a prey, and so on. But all having a common goal to survive in the wilderness. That is what we see as a common thread across all these different traits. Now, I want you to imagine this, that you are at the center and this is your team, right? Unlike in the previous scenario where they can have different strategies to survive, they may have different goals. I think here we all should have a common strategy to achieve a common goal. But we shouldn't or cannot expect people to change. I mean, what's the fun, right? We have to have people with different traits, and that's what makes a team, different strengths, different personalities coming together. But it's not easier said than done. It's not so easy to deal with people having so many differences in the way in which they communicate, the way in which they see things, understand things, talk, different personalities. So then we'll start seeing all these issues coming up in the project team, and then as a project manager, you are at the center to manage all of this. So then the issue starts coming up, project delays happen or other issues start coming up. So are there solutions? Is there any methodical way in which we can approach this? Is there anything that we can learn to deal with the situation? That is what we are here today to learn, to hear from Anupama Kinatukara. She's not new to us, to PMI Dallas. She's come and spoken to us at different forums. And thanks, Anupama. How many ever times you come, we are happy to have you again. She is CEO and president of ZNDKIN Solutions Inc., certified disc trainer. I know you all are wondering what is disc, and I want the suspense to be revealed by none other than Anupama. Motivational speaker, and personally, I myself love to hear from her. And I met her during one of our sessions, and now we have a good relationship. She's also a leadership coach. She's led individuals, teams, and organizations internationally through many challenges that the teams face and implemented various projects successfully in the corporate world. So she's been in leadership roles leading teams across the globe for the past 15 plus years at Fortune 500 companies such as IBM, MetLife, TIAA, Horizon, BCB, SNJ, very famous names people will be familiar with. Woman entrepreneur, that gives a special focus too, on a mission to empower and equip others to be challenged and lead on. I would like to welcome Anupama now to talk to us about Discover communication strategies. Over to you, Anupama.
Thank you, Rama, for that introduction. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Alrighty, and I'm going to be sharing my screen. If you can stop your share, I'll share my screen. Actually, we'll start with, you stay there. We'll start with the poll. So if you can bring up Mentimeter, and everybody can go on their mobile phone or use the computer and go to menti.com and enter this. We want to see who is here. We want to make sure we know how many people are here who have kind of know a bit more about themselves, and let's see where this takes us. So if we can, Rama, if you can put that
Yes, I
back.
have it in the chat, and I'm going to share my screen on the Mentimeter.
Okay.
Second, um, people who are not familiar with Mentimeter, I have put it in the chat. You have to go to a browser screen and enter the URL www.menti.com and use the code I have put in the chat 43579068. So I will give a minute for people to just log in and get ready. Or if I can hear a couple of yeses from people saying they're clear, they logged in and they're ready for the poll, we can get started too.
Yeah, I think we are good. We do see the question, and your name doesn't come up, so you can be honest and authentic while you're responding, because it's only the responses that will pop up.
Okay. Nice. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to communication? Yeah, like I said, one word is good. Multicultural dynamics, getting responses back, difficult people, consistency. We made it as a word cloud so that we can see which is having more weightage. And yeah, I see clarity, consistency is coming in the middle. Impromptu, claustrophobia. I know who has put that word. Excellent. Teams. Shall we go to the next question?
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you know how you're supposed to improve? Possibly, yes. Okay. Somebody has said yes, yes. Possibly is increasing. So
Actually, that's a good sign. That means we are always looking to improve on our communication and learn and grow. And some are there already, so we can learn from them too.
Yes. So you know how you're supposed to improve. No, we have to ask them what are you doing once you know the how.
Yes, we will come to that.
Yes. All right. So let's go to the last question. In this section of I see some more responses coming in. Yeah, we can go to the next one. How would your friends describe you majority of the time? Easygoing and likable, taking charge easily and make decisions quickly, of every party, detail oriented and perfectionist.
Interesting. Nobody seems to be having fun at parties.
Yeah.
We have very detail-oriented and perfectionist people here, and people who are taking charge, which is good. Well, we need to find some party people for our group now.
Yeah,
all right.
The word friends, right? We wanted to Here's the question for that also.
Yeah. All right. If you can stop your share, I will share my screen now.
Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Let me make sure yep. Okay. So you guys do see my screen again? Cool. So I want to thank you all for being here. It is a pleasure to be back. I love being called back, and I am looking forward to meeting all of you again individually, because I also like to really connect with people one-on-one. So I am going to get started. I did speak earlier on this book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, which does go with DISC. So I will be including some of the points from that book as we go along. But the main focus today will be on DISC, and you will see what we are going to be doing, because this one is a bit different, even if you have attended my earlier sessions, because we are going to make it interactive. So just so you know, I am part of the John Maxwell team. John Maxwell has written 8,500 books on leadership and communication. And it was my privilege to have met him in March of 2019. I am planning to go meet him again in Orlando this August. We have a leadership conference coming up. So let me dive right into, I am going to be playing a video. And what I want you all to do is pay attention. It's a 1 minute, 1.5 minute video. It's not a long video. I want you to pay attention, and then I'm going to ask some questions, and we'll see how many people were actually listening and what did you hear. All right, so let's play this video. Rama, if you can show me thumbs up that you can see and hear, then I will go on mute.
All right, does everybody understand your appointed tasks?
Dad, I'm very concerned about scope creep. When did this third floor become a thing?
Come on, multi-story projects are where it's at. Who wants a first floor apartment anyway? People should be able to see this thing from miles around.
Not according to the original plan. And will there be vehicle access around this side of the structure?
Sarah.
Yes, sir.
We haven't heard from you yet. Do we have enough supplies for,
6 floors.
Well, I don't want to get in between.
Technically, yes. We have enough room for...
6 floors it is.
But how does engineering feel about this?
We haven't gotten the numbers back from them yet.
Ian, I understand your enthusiasm, and I certainly do appreciate it. But, well, Christine and Sarah, they have their finger on the pulse of the project. The original plans call for a 2-story structure. And we're going to stick with
6 floors!
Don't be that kid.
Wow.
Your personality was with you since the sandbox. It affects you and everyone around you in your current sandbox as well. Isn't it true that everyone communicates, but few connect?
All righty. So the question that I have for you is, what did you observe? What were the names of the people who were in the video? If you can either put it in the chat, that might be the best way, since we do have quite a bit of people here. So put it in the chat. What were the names of the people? What is the name of the first person who
All right,
spoke
does
up?
everybody understand your appointed tasks?
So what was the name of this guy in the hat? What was the name of the person sitting next to him? And then the guy who walked out, and the other lady.
Should I
Yeah,
keep
if you can
reading
read
the
out.
answers? Should I keep reading the answers?
Yes, please.
Dan, Christine, I have only one response so far.
Sounds like everybody is still thinking. All right,
Sir.
cool. I am going to be playing this video again towards the end, and we will see how much more you are able to gather. So the other question I have is, did you see different personality styles? Did you see people behaving differently? And if some of you already know a little bit about the DISNC, who do you think these people were? Which style were they behaving in? Again, if you can put it in the chat, that would be great.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yes. So each of these individuals have different
All right, does everybody
personalities.
understand your appointed tasks?
have different personality styles. So my question is, did you gather what style each of them is? So the 4 categories that you had put responses to in the Menti chat, are they easygoing? Are they somebody who wants to be in control? Are they someone who would be a life of the party? Or is it someone who is very detail oriented?
So yes, I was dominant. I think you meant dominant, right, Dion?
And if you haven't observed it, that's okay. Towards the end, as you said, I will play it again and you will definitely see the different styles. But I want to capture a before and an after.
B, Sarah, I agree. Sarah is I. So people are telling Sarah in the I bracket.
All right. So let's
responses,
move on.
People, we are not asking you to speak. We are asking you to chat.
That's okay. So today we are going to understand the patterns of people, providing you with a very valuable key to get along with each other and implement effective communication strategies to improve your ability to connect and make every communication an opportunity. By the way, opportunity is the word of the year for me, and I'll tell you at a later time why I picked the word of the year as opportunity. So make every communication an opportunity for a powerful connection. So communication is the key. The key to communication is often said to be listening. And listening is a key, but the way you listen matters. As you observed yourself while you were watching the video, you were listening, but the way you were listening did make a big difference. Speaking is also key, and how you speak to people is equally critical. So consider applying an approach where you take into account who is speaking and how their personality attunes to send and receive information. Listen to their information, taking into account who they are, and respond with questions and input that also accounts for who they are. So build bridges of communication by honoring the unique nature of the people who you are interacting with. So there are generally 2 types of people. There are people who are taking a vacation. They're all about having fun and what are we going to do? Who are we going to see? And there are people who are focused on who else is going with you. You're caught up in thinking about who you will see when you get there, all of the fun, but you also want to make a list of what do I take with me? Will there be Wi-Fi at the hotel? So is your idea of a perfect day about what you will get done or the people who you will talk to? When working in a traditional work environment, traditional meaning you are not remotely working at home, you are actually in an office building. Do you go straight to your office or do you visit with others? So depending on the answer to these 2 questions, you will realize whether you are task-oriented or people-oriented. Are you outgoing? Are you glad when the elevator opens since you will get to talk to people, or are you happy when the elevator is empty and there is nobody in the elevator because you have time to think and you can be by yourself? When you think about your internal motor, is it really quick and wanting to get stuff moving, or is your internal motor more calm and more quiet and more like, let me kind of think this through? Do you speak to think or do you think to speak? Meaning, hey, I'm kind of brainstorming here. I'm not really sure of my decision, of my opinion or my thoughts, but I love my talking. And when I quit talking, I might get some clarity or maybe tomorrow, but I love my talking. Or are you the kind of person that thinks, okay, what is my decision? What are my opinions? What do I really want to say? You are quiet. You think to speak. That determines whether you are more outgoing, you speak to think, or are you more reserved? Do you think to speak? So you see, with a simple question, we can discover the pattern of the outgoing personality that is found in those of us who don't mind getting into an elevator and meeting someone new. And with that same question, we can discover who might be more reserved in nature and who really prefers an empty elevator. So today you will get to learn about yourself and others. We'll unveil the strengths of each style, and before our time is up, you will learn a great way to improve communication with those you work and live with. As we get started, I hope you have a pencil or pen because you are going to want to take some notes. And I want you to note down thoughts that come to your mind as I go through my experience of how I've applied some of these techniques to communicate and connect with others. And don't get me wrong, I am going to give you some golden nuggets because I have taken specific steps myself, but I want you to leave with specific action steps you are going to take after this call. I am a business thought leader, thinking partner who helps people, individuals, companies, and organizations to move from where they are to where they need to go. I would love to connect with you, and here is my LinkedIn profile link, and I hope you guys are going to reach out to connect because connecting is an important aspect of our life, especially as project managers. Connecting increases your influence in every situation. You don't need to understand why these techniques work, but you do need to understand how to apply it. You want to improve your marriage? Connecting better will make a huge difference. You want a promotion? You need to connect better, not only with your boss, with your customers, with your peers, and even your team. You want to improve your relationship with your friends? Guess what? It's all about connecting. We need people. You can't do anything on your own in this world. We need to be able to connect and influence people to succeed in this world. And the friction we experience in our day-to-day life comes down to leadership, connecting, and influence. And everything I'm talking about is absolutely 100% a teachable skill, which means you can learn to connect, you can learn to lead, and you can learn to improve your ability to influence people. That is, if you want to. So let's watch another short video. Here, I want you to look at how it is when you see things from different perspectives. So once again, I'm going to just play this video. It's a short video, and I will ask a few questions.
Everyone in your organization sees things from their own perspective. They perceive any conflict or opportunity from their department, from their position, from their view. If we think about the colors on a beach ball, we can gain some insight into how leadership can alter your perceptions. Looking at a beach ball, we are forced to see only the color in our immediate view. If you are asked what color you see, your initial response would probably be just the color in front of you. In contrast, your neighbor or the person right across the hall might have a completely different answer. If you had never seen a beach ball, this might even start an argument over the color of the ball. I mean, you're looking right at it, right? In these situations, a leader has gained the ability to rise above and view the issue from a higher perspective. All you are doing is changing how you look at things. Only when we adopt a team mentality and try to view things from a leadership perspective are we able to see things as they truly are.
All righty. So here, what did you observe in this video? And if you guys are comfortable unmuting and speaking up, you can go ahead and do that. I do want people to engage themselves. So if typing is difficult while having lunch,
Everyone
that's
in
okay.
your
So what did you observe? What was your observation?
Hello. I found it interesting that both men only had one hand on the ball, but both women had both hands on the ball.
Yeah, that's a great observation. Thanks, Deanna.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Everyone is needed to hold up the ball.
Everyone is needed to hold up the ball. Why?
Okay.
If you let go, it goes down. It's gravity.
Very true.
One more thing, because I got to get on another call.
Oh, somebody is speaking on mute. Any other comments?
Mine was just more about the colors of the beach ball, the clothing that the four folks were wearing.
Jennifer has written, did they have their eyes closed?
Why is that? So the whole idea behind this particular video is saying your perspective really changes everything. It's amazing what we learn from one another and when we listen to each other's perspective. So if you look at it, the beach ball, as it was at the eye level, they were only seeing their color. They were only seeing it from their perspective. As they were lowering the ball,
Everyone in your organization,
it was going below. As a leader, we need to see the bigger picture. And that's when you see all the other colors and different perspectives. So that's just an illustration on how to really communicate, connect, and identify different styles. For that, you need to pay attention from a very high level and not stay just in your own world. Make sense? All righty. Okay, so let's come back to this discussion on the Maxwell disc method of personality indicators. So based on your answers to the elevator and vacation questions, you will begin to see where you are on this Maxwell disc matrix, whether you are outgoing, task-oriented, outgoing, people-oriented. So D's and C's, focus first on getting things done and then think about the people. They are making a list for vacations and checking to see if the hotel has Wi-Fi. I's and S's, focus on people first, then on getting things done. That is if there is time. Their vacation planning consists of a list of names or experiences they want to have while they are there. So when we look at it from a disc perspective, D's and I's are more outgoing. They don't mind people in the elevator, whereas C's and S's, they are more reserved. They are hoping the elevator is empty. But guess what? In the event the elevator is not empty, S's are also thinking that how can they be nice to those people? Because they are all about making sure everybody is happy. So we are going to go back to the Mentimeter. I'm going to stop my share. And if Rama, you can bring up the next couple of questions, then we will take this forward.
Sure. Give me 1 second. It's taking some time to move to the next question. All right. What are your leadership strengths? So again, you have to go to your browser screen where you have the menti.com URL clicked and you have to enter the code 43579068. Oops. Oh, okay. All right. Nice. Processing, detailing, persisting, influencing, relating. I think we can go to the next question. Oh, I see some more is coming. People are still thinking. Okay, the last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Seems like we have a lot of influencing going on here.
Yes.
Processing and detailing and relating and less of directing and persisting. All right. Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. What is your greatest fear? Being taken advantage of, a rejection, criticism, loss of security. Criticism is competing with loss of security. That's nice to see that rejection is not so high.
Yeah, I think in this uncertain time, loss of security is expected to be on the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
And with the majority of us really don't like criticism. All righty.
I still don't see everybody giving in their
I know we have 5 people who haven't participated. It is very easy to do, and this is a really, if you are doing a workshop, this is a great way to use menti.com. It's free, and it is a nice visual for everybody to see the responses. All right, I think those were just 2 that we had, right, Rama?
Shall I stop?
Yeah, please stop the share, and I'll go on to mine.
Sure. Yeah, you can take it.
And you'll see why we asked those questions. So those are not random questions. Those were put together by Rama and I for a particular purpose. So I'm going to describe what each of these styles look like, but you are going to see that you are a combination of all these styles. So we are going to see how these styles can be identified, and we are also going to see how can we communicate in different ways based on their style. And it is very likely that you aren't just heavy on one style. And also you're probably different than the way people see you. That is why there was a question of what would your friends say about you? It is really who you really are at your core. Your style is going to change when you are under stress. And that's where we have our blind spots, who we really are. We have our strengths, but if any of our strengths are taken to an extreme, it becomes a blind spot, or any of our weakness, if used a lot, would also become a blind spot. So this is going to be just at a higher level, but you will find out more when you actually take the assessment. We do have this assessment that gives you a 30-page report, and when you take this assessment, you get a report something like this. This is a sample. It will tell you what your blend is, and it will also tell you a personality name that goes with it. My style, well, I'm not going to say now. I will tell you later, but you will see how it is very interesting to know what different styles we are. The report also talks about how do you communicate with someone with a particular style? So for example, this particular person had a style where it says, do communicate with them, be brief, direct, and to the point. Whereas it also tells you, well, if you are communicating with this person, this is how you should not approach them. This is great because sometimes we don't know how to approach people, and this will give you an idea of how to get started. So we had gone over some of these of how do people really see you, and we talked about what is your greatest fear. The DISC report gives you 11 leadership strengths. It talks about what strength can you use in your particular case to lead better. So based on, this is actually mine, and I am high with P. P is processing, and it tells me that I should use that strength more than try to be more detail oriented, because that's not my strength. I can find someone else to do the details for me, but I can influence and lead better by really relating to others and processing. So that is something else that is made available. There was one of my LinkedIn connection, Anthony, who actually took this DISC assessment with me. And he thought that was good. And he said, okay, I'm done. I invested to take the assessment. He was actually going to give an interview that day. He was in between jobs. He took the interview. He passed the interview. He called me right away and said, I am so grateful that I took the assessment because it showed me what it was about me that I could be proud of, what it was about me that made me more confident of who I was, and I didn't have to be somebody else. And when they asked him his strengths and his weakness, this particular page gave him that, and it was easy for him to talk about it, and he did get the job. And since then, he has decided to take on individual coaching sessions with me every week, and his personality is blossoming as he's now taking intentional action step every week. I work with him to help him stay focused on what will give him the best return on investment, and definitely I can do it for you too. We need to treat people with the platinum rule. I'm sure you've heard about the golden rule, right? Treat everyone how you would like to be treated. But if you communicate with your style, you are actually alienating everybody, because you are just focused on your style. Well, the platinum rule says to treat others how they would like to be treated. And Anthony is a testimony of that, of the impact that DISC and individual coaching with me can have. He is being recognized at his new job as a growing leader. And every day he comes to me saying, this is what I learned, this is what I've done about it, and here is where I want to go next. So it is an amazing experience to be able to do that for somebody. You might ask, why is knowing someone's DISC style important? Because as author John Maxwell says, connecting increases your influence in every situation. I've heard it said that in order to succeed in life, we need to learn to work with others. No matter how smart, caring, charismatic, or demanding we are, we won't advance very far without the ability to communicate and connect effectively with others. So it's a common misconception that certain people are born with the ability to connect. Yet the truth is, anyone can learn how to make every communication an opportunity for a powerful connection. It is within your reach. It might be out of your comfort zone like it was for me, but it is within your reach. I launched my first leadership event with the John Maxwell Company in October 2019. These were the speakers at my event. And I invited these three influential women from my community to be on the panel for the afternoon session. I did not know any of them a few months before the event, but I used some of these techniques to connect with them and invite them to be on my panel. I'm in the process of hosting the event this year, and I'm meeting with the deputy mayor, the entrepreneurs, the leadership experts in my town and in my county to see who I want to invite to the panel this time. When I hosted this event, I had about 50 folks who attended. We hosted it at a local community college. And again, I didn't know 90% of the people in this room, but I'm still connected to majority of them, one or two, maybe not. But I am so happy because this event was even published in the local newspaper. So it is a great accomplishment for me, who is an introvert by nature. I have become a confident introvert from being a shy introvert. And you will see what I mean by that. I was very strategic. And last year, we hosted the event virtually. And these were our speakers at last year's event. And this year, guess who is the speaker? This year, we have, okay, it's on a different slide. So I will come to this year's event, but we are launching this event on October 8, 2021. And I can bring it to you virtually because we have the license now to do it in person as well as virtually. So this particular principle that I'm talking about, connecting, increases your influence in every situation. That is one of the principles from this book, Everyone Communicates, You Connect. And buy this book if you are really keen on improving your communication, or get it from the library like I did. You don't need to buy the book, just get it from the library. But it's a great lesson on how to connect with others one-on-one, in a group, and with an audience. And John Maxwell lays it out very well in this book. And I do teach this book for 10 weeks. But let's come back to what is the purpose of communication. Can you put in the chat, what do you think the purpose of communication is? And put it fast because I have a lot more I want to share, and the slower that you are, the less you will get. So what is the purpose of communication? Let me see a few responses in the chat.
Share thoughts, getting things done. Express your ideas, feedback, connect.
Yes, yes.
Share information, alignment. Nice to see responses flowing in now.
I know. I think people are finally waking up or have already eaten their lunch. So the purpose of communication, we communicate for many reasons, but the main ones are to influence, to motivate, to express feelings, and to inform. It is the responsibility of the person giving the communication to properly relay their message and intent to the receiver. Unless this is done successfully, then this communication never really takes place and is often the cause of conflict and misunderstanding. This is why it is so important to learn someone else's communication language and to operate by keeping the platinum rule. Remember the platinum rule, always in the forefront of our minds. So let's talk about how we can do this and how we can communicate with each different style. And here it goes. Here is where you might want to start taking some detailed notes as I go over each. Note down the name of someone who you met or who you might be meeting and who comes to your mind from your family as we go over some of these characteristics. Write down the names of people who you normally communicate with and would like to connect better. So have you ever known someone who is direct? If they drive projects forward and are bold, decisive, and comfortable being in control, they may be dewired. Today, we'll talk about how to recognize and connect with them. Who do you know who is fun? The life of the party. Great at telling a story or a joke, and very popular. Well, those characteristics indicate that the person may be I-wired. And today, you and I will talk about how to connect best with them. Is there anyone you know who is loyal, dedicated, doesn't seek attention, and is the backbone of your family or your department? Someone who you can always count on to support people and projects. They are likely an S-wired individual. Have you ever recognized someone who is neat, organized, and structured? They do not seek crowds and are quiet and very focused on details. They may very well be C-wired, and we'll talk through some strategies on connecting with them. So this framework of D, I, S, and C is not meant to label us or place us in a box and just close the lid. Each of us is actually a combination of all the four of the DISC styles. However, each of us have a natural set point of 1, 2, or even 3 styles that dominate. Today, we'll help you recognize the patterns that illustrate a person's behavioral preferences and how, when we lean into our own natural areas of strength, we can bring our best into our work and relationships. So let me give you a glimpse of my own journey so you can appreciate what I am sharing here. You might be wondering, how did I meet John Maxwell and why did I join the John Maxwell team? I started my journey as a developer. I transitioned to be a leader, and now I'm honored to say that I'm a developer again. And you might think Anupama is crazy. Well, hang in there. I will tell you why this is the case and why you might also still be a developer or want to be a developer like me, because I am developing leaders around me now. And that's why I call myself a developer. I started my IT career in India and I got to work in UK for British Telecom as a consultant in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And then I came to USA and I worked for Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield. IBM took over the project. I worked for IBM for almost 10 years, quit IBM to go do a consulting job with MetLife. And then I worked for TIAA as an agile project manager for 3 years, full-time work from home. I loved what I was doing, but I was missing something. And I couldn't figure out what it was. What did I do? In 2018, I focused on my personal and professional growth. I was amongst the top 2,500 in the world to get certified as Program Management Professional, PgMP, through PMI. I chose my first mentor who helped me prepare for my certification exam and provided resources to help me practice daily, interact virtually, and learn from others. It also gave me the pleasure of mentoring others at the same time. And that started me on my own growth journey. And I searched for the best mentor on leadership. And guess who I came across? John C. Maxwell. And that's what I did. I decided to join his team. And now I teach leadership classes, I take communication workshops, and I'm licensed to teach from his books. And it has been an amazing journey to see people who are stuck at their job and waiting for a way out. And I'm able to do that for them because I have done it myself. I met Kimberly, who works at PMI and was invited to speak for projectmanagement.com community in February 2021. I have more than 10,000 views on this particular talk, and you can go watch this talk also, and it will be a refresher from today's talk and you can get an additional PDU. So go ahead and do that. And that led me to reach out confidently to other PMI chapters. And I got connected to PMI Dallas through Michelle and Denise. And then I met Pat Chowdhury as well. And here I am speaking to you. And next month, I am speaking at PMI South Africa. I have spoken at PMI Singapore chapter, Ireland chapter, and across USA. I've also been speaking at Rotary clubs. I am a Rotarian. I became a Rotarian last year. I was invited to speak at the district staff meeting for 49 Rotary clubs. And my topic was about the collaboration with Toastmasters Club, because I'm also a member of Toastmasters Club. So connecting increases your influence in every situation. I have recently won the Toastmasters International Speech Contest at the district level. I won at the club level, area level, division level, and district level. And again, that is because I was able to connect with a lot of people intentionally. And I had to spend energy connecting, because connecting always requires energy. That is another principle from this book. So look at what John Maxwell defines connecting as. Connecting is the ability to identify with people and relate to them in such a way that increases your influence with them. It's all about influence, isn't it? We are all trying to influence one another all the time. I'm trying to influence you right now. Now, if you want to influence people, connecting is that first layer of foundation. You need that rapport. You need to connect. People need to feel like they know, like, and trust you. So let's see. I was invited as one of the panelists for the International Women's Day Summit in March 2020 with 300 women in attendance. And let me tell you, I did not know any of those decision makers. How did that happen? That's because I connected intentionally with others. I used to think that it was all about being the best. If you want to lead, you have to be the best. If you want people to listen to you, you've got to impress them. But influence is not about impressing people. It's about connecting with them. It's not a logical thing. It's an emotional thing. And we are emotional beings. We see the world as we are, and we are all different. Even if connecting isn't something you're good at today, you can learn how to do it and become better tomorrow. It is a foundational part of leadership, and leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Were you the favorite student at school? Teacher's pet, we call it. Do you remember who was a teacher's pet and what was unique about them? I was not my teacher's pet. I was not the favorite person in the class. My circle of influence was very small. I had 2 or 3 friends while I was growing up. I met my classmates after 30 years, school reunion. I genuinely made connections before I went down to meet them in India a few years ago. I made this connection a memorable one that everyone enjoys. How did I do that? One of the practices from this book is connecting is an experience everyone enjoys. And I use that to be able to do that. And that's for another time discussion. But there I am as one of the students. This was in my 10th grade. And here I am amongst everybody else trying to make sure it is an enjoyable experience. So first connecting principle is connecting increases your influence in every situation. And I challenged myself to go out for networking events. My word for the year, the first year I picked up a word for the year was in 2019. My word for the year was to be challenged. Because I was an introvert, I did not want to go to any event. I did not want to get out of my house. I was nervous. I was shy. I refused to go without a friend. I invited a friend whom I had met at one of my son's baseball game and asked if she would do me a favor. And please, please, please go with me. And guess what? She said yes. And that's why I went to my first networking event. Look at me here. Just a couple of months after that, I started challenging myself to network more and meet new people. I was invited to do a workshop for, this was the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. They had a professional development day. And I love it now. This is something that I have grown to learn, to love, and to do. And that brought me to doing mentoring for women. I mentor women leaders. I was at a mentoring event. I met this lady who was the president of the North Jersey Chamber of Commerce. Again, I connected intentionally during that event. She invited me to be on that panel a couple of weeks later, and that's how I became one of the panelists. So I'm sharing my journey with you, not to impress you, but to impress upon you that you do not have to be born as a great communicator. It is a skill that anyone can learn and develop if we have the right coaches and mentor to provide guidance and hold them accountable. I work closely with my mentors, and that's why I was asked to be on the staff for this Rotary District 7490 last year, and I got selected to be one of the 214 members on our President's Advisory Council on the John Maxwell team. That puts me as in the top 1% of the 40,000 members that we have. You do not have to change who you are. You just have to change how you communicate with others to connect with them. I hope I have brought value to you today, but I want to end with a few things that you can keep in mind as you connect with others. If you see somebody who is very driven and they want to embrace, they want to stay focused on the results, that is the D style. D's focus on results. They are driven by authority. They embrace any change. They are very comfortable and respond to direct confrontation. But because they are not afraid of conflict, they can become argumentative and inconsiderate, not complimentary to others, possessive, and they do not like to apologize. I's seek friendly environment and are always active. They are emotional, expressive. When I's strength are out of balance, they create an obstacle. They may appear to be disorganized, distracted, wasting time or talking too much, overcommitted or seeking the spotlight. Well, S individuals are people who like a team environment and are loyal. When D's and I's start and lead a project, the S-wired team members do the details to make it happen. They may appear to be laid back or sarcastic. They will not always be direct, and they will shut down in confrontation. S's may appear to be possessive and skeptical. Let's see what our C-style friends are like. They are compliant, conscientious, accurate, and detail-oriented. They may appear to be moody. They can be hard to please and can be slow to start due to taking too much time. But of all the personalities, C's are most susceptible to analysis paralysis. Let me share with you finally who is on the speakers list for the upcoming Live to Lead. These are all world-class speakers, and they are going to be speaking to us on October 8, 2021. And if you are interested, you can reach out to me, or you can go here and just register or RSVP to let me know that you would be interested. I am going to leave you with the video that I'm going to play again. I want you to see the difference it's going to make as you watch the video, because you will identify who is the D style, who is the I style, S style, and C style. So let me quickly just bring the video up. I know we are running out of time because I have so much to share. I'm so passionate about what I have learned, and I want others to know about it, but I know it's not always so easy to do in a short time. So I'll play the video. It's a 1-minute video, and I'll open up for any questions.
So Anupama, we will not.
Everyone in your organization sees things from
We won't break up.
their own perspective.
Oh, sorry, this is not
They
the one. Hold on. I wanted to show you the sandbox one. There you go, this one.
All right, does everybody understand your appointed tasks?
Dan, I'm very concerned about scope creep. When did this third floor become a thing?
Come on. Multi-story projects are where it's at. Who wants a first floor apartment anyway? People should be able to see this thing from miles around.
Not according to the original plan. And will there be vehicle access around this side of the structure?
Sarah,
Yes, sir.
we haven't heard from you yet. Do we have enough supplies for,
6 floors.
Well, I don't want to get in between.
Technically, yes. We have enough room for...
6 floors it is.
But how does engineering feel about this?
We haven't gotten the numbers back from them yet.
Ian, I understand your enthusiasm, and I certainly do appreciate it, but, well, Christine and Sarah, they have their finger on the pulse of the project. The The original plans call for a 2-story structure. And we're going to stick with
6 floors.
All right. I hope you have seen the difference in how that video played for you today. If you believe that connecting will change your life, it is something you can begin to improve starting today. Learning to connect with people can definitely change your life. And let's get started today with it because you don't want to wait for tomorrow. We project managers have this tendency to be able to, we do need to address different styles and different people, but sometimes we don't have the authority. But this assessment helps you know a little bit more about your own strengths and how you can influence and lead others using not just authority, but also based on your strengths. So I'm going to open it up with any questions or what is one thing that you're going to do differently based on what you learned today?
I think what we can do is we can quickly take a photo so that we can post it on our social media. And there is one last question which I want people to answer. And I also want to put up a slide talking about the, if you want to take it forward with Anupama, what are the opportunities? So let's with the photo op first. Whoever can come back with your videos on, that will be appreciated. And here we go. Yes, we have more videos coming up. That's nice. All right. So cheese, 3, 2, 1, go. I want to make sure that I click the right button. Okay, that's nice. All right. So I'm going to share the last question. So if you all can go to the menti.com. I don't think I need to open the, share the screen here, right? Because you can see the questions on menti.com.
Yeah.
What did you learn today that you intend to apply is the question. I would give a couple of seconds for people to write. I don't want to read through the answers.
You're going to send us a summary at the end?
No, I'll share. I will share. It's just that I thought if I share it right away, it may influence.
Oh, that's smart.
So I will share the screen the moment we have a couple of answers flowing in. All right, so let me share the screen. Let's see. First lunch and learn. So just opening to the concepts, listen for a person's communication style, be intentional, push myself to connect. Start connecting today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Very nice. Nothing to do with work, but personal. I learned that I need to be sure and stretch for about 10 minutes after I exercise in order not hurt. How to connect better and better with others. It's very nice. Let's connect. Reminder, we are all human. Beautiful. Connecting. Just to be more aware of the styles discussed and learn how best to communicate with those styles. Be more of an influencer. Be sensitive to other styles. It's never late to learn to communicate.
That is very true. Can we open it up for questions? I think you had one more slide for how to stay connected with me.
Yes. Oops.
I don't want people to leave before they have chance to ask questions.
Sure. So the last point was to know how to get more connected and learn more. And here are your opportunities. So I'm going to have Anupama talk about this slide.
Meanwhile, yeah, just take a screenshot of this, reach out to me. I would rather spend time answering any questions people have. So just take a screenshot. There are a lot of other resources and services I offer. So reach out to me, then let's talk. But if there are any questions, I would love to answer them.
And I'm going to put all the links in the chat for those of you who, yeah,
Either
even
I did a wonderful
yeah,
job
sure.
or nobody was listening. You can unmute yourself to ask a question or make a comment.
Can I stop the screen share
Yeah.
so that we can have more people coming in and we can see each other?
So what, thank you, Dion.
Firstly, thanks, Anupama. I want to thank you for taking your time off to come to us on a busy Friday afternoon and spend a good 1 hour time with us. People can have their Q&As ready while you answer the poll that just got launched. Yeah, I think more than the Q&A, even your thoughts, it's both for Anupama as well as to me to understand, what you felt about the session and what should we do next time. We should have more time. We should have more such things happening, being planned. Very interesting approach. The objective of Lunch and Learn was met. Thank you.
Ah, that's very nice to hear. And that's my goal. I really want, yes, I talk about what I do, but the intention is I want everybody to be able to take an action going forward. I consider myself a motivational teacher rather than a motivational speaker. And that's exactly what my mentor, John Maxwell, says he is too, because our goal is to allow you to identify a small change, just one small change that you can take a step forward to improve your communication. And that's how I have got to where I am. I call myself a confident introvert because what I understood is from being a shy introvert where I wasn't very open with speaking up. I'm still an introvert because I still need to be in my own zone to energize myself. But I have learned how to speak up and speak up in a way where I can influence others positively.
Anupama, we also have a comment in the chat box from Dione that you did a wonderful job and thank you.
Sada, thank you.
Yeah,
I just want to share that
Yes.
I took the DISC assessment recently, and I would encourage everyone to take that. The questions that are posted over there would bring up so much, insight into yourself. If there are 4 options, 6 options, every second you would be toggling between each other. Am I this or am I that? Am I this? No, might not be this. So about yourself, you will feel, exploring yourself with all those options. So I would definitely encourage everyone to take up the DISC assessment. It's
Thanks,
really
Vasudeva.
good. Yeah, and also take time to read through the report. It will open up a new horizon about yourself, knowing more about you.
Yeah, and I think that's the important piece. We all take a lot of questionnaires and assessment, but if we don't spend the time to understand what we got out of it, and I do a one-on-one debrief for 45 minutes with people who will take the assessment with me. That comes with the assessment that you purchase. You get the 45 minutes with me, and I help you focus on those 30-page report on the specific pages that is important right away. And if you continue the individual coaching, we use the report to do coaching later. Obaidul, you were going to say something?
Yeah, so this is my first Lunch and Learn, so I think this was a very good one to have that. I do definitely want to thank both of you guys for prepping all of this work. It does definitely take a lot of time to put together, so I really appreciate all the extra work that you guys have done. The one statement that I would say is one thing I would have loved to see, and possibly is not doable within the short timeline, is maybe one effective style of communicating back for each of the DISC personalities.
Yeah, I did have that in my deck. Unfortunately, we ran out of time with the delay in the videos and the responses. But if you go back to either the PMI Dallas recording that they had on the chapter when I made the presentation, or the projectmanagement.com, you will get that also, because I did share that during that time. But
Awesome.
today,
Thank you.
I wanted to stick with time too.
Totally understand. Thank you.
But thanks for the comment.
We have few more responses coming in the chat, Anupama. I think.
All right, I will take a look
Yeah.
at that.
Yes, I think 4 sessions to cover each one. I agree. It
Yes.
was short time, but I think the idea was to introduce the concept to everyone, because not always will we be able to have a full-fledged session. So especially in lunch and learns, we need to have interaction. We should have, we only have a limited amount of time, but we wanted to bring up the concept to everybody so that there is opportunity to learn more. This is just like a teaser, right? So you need to attend the session.
Yeah, it's done as a half day, full day workshop. That's how we do this workshop, where you take the assessment, and then we actually pair you up with others so that we learn how to use the assessment and then change the communication. So I've done it as a half day workshop as well. Any other thoughts, questions? No question is silly question. You might have a question that somebody else is hesitant to ask.
Yeah, if somebody is, you can even put it in the chat and we can direct it to.
I think someone asked, how do I get a copy of the recording? Monique has asked.
It will be posted.
It will be posted. Okay. Yeah, and if anybody has an opportunity where you need a speaker, I am still offering complimentary sessions, but I am looking for paid opportunities to speak for your group, for your company. If you take an assessment for your team, I will do a group debrief for your team. That is always helpful, because then the team gets to know a bit about each other. So.
Yeah, and you have the LinkedIn Anupama on the chat, and I also put.
Yeah, and I'll give my email ID if people are not on LinkedIn, because I know everybody doesn't use LinkedIn as I do. I use it every single day now, but when I was in my steady job, I don't think I did use as much. So here is my email and my phone number. So feel free to connect with me and contact me, and we can just have a chat. I don't charge you for an initial chat.
And there's also a link on the upcoming workshops. I think there are some coming up even as early as 1st of August. So if you're moving on to leadership roles, or if you're already there and if you're struggling, I think make use of this opportunity, get connected with Anupama and try to learn more. As Vasu was saying, I think a lot of times we will know, but it'll be so much in the behind backdrop. Unless we take it out and somebody asks us that specific question, we'll not know how to progress or what is right, what is wrong. So I would encourage you all to take a look at all the sessions, the upcoming workshops. All right, so